Yvette Cooper's first trip as Foreign Secretary is a statement of intent. She's going to Kyiv today with a winter support package worth £142 million, reinforcing the idea that the United Kingdom intends to be indispensable to Ukraine as the temperature drops and Russia targets power, heat and water as last year and the year before. The package splits into £100 million for frontline humanitarian needs and £42 million to repair and harden the grid against strikes. This is not a photo op, it's a targeted intervention at the start of a winter Russia hopes to weaponize. The visit comes in a volatile week. Poland and NATO partners shot down Russian drones that violated Polish airspace. The legal and military nuances will be argued in Brussels, but the political message is clear. Russia is probing alliance responses while saturating Ukraine with drones and missiles. Kyiv suffered its largest aerial assault of the war only days ago, with the Cabinet of Ministers building among the damaged sites. Cooper will visit that building and residential blocks that were hit, making the humanitarian case tangible. London is pairing relief with industry. The UK will mass-produce Ukrainian-designed interceptor drones as part of a UK-Ukraine co-production push. That is strategically important for two reasons. First, it shifts support from Czechs to factories, creating volume at the price point needed to beat cheap attack drones. Second, it binds British and Ukrainian defence ecosystems in a way that outlasts the war. Cooper's team is signalling that this is about sustained capacity, not sporadic gifts. President Zelensky, for his part, has urged allies to rethink air defence. He's right. You cannot fire a £3 million interceptor, a £3 million interceptor at a 20,000 drone forever. You need layered defence with a cost curve that favours the defender. Ukraine has built that architecture under fire and now offers to train allies, including Poland, on anti-drone warfare. This is the correct intellectual framing of the conflict in the air. Make the economics of defence favourable and the sky becomes survivable. What precisely is the UK buying with £142 million? For three things. First, time. Keeping water flowing and radiators warm buys civilian resilience during blackouts. Second, trust. Ukrainians notice who turns up when it hurts. Third, leverage. Humanitarian credibility strengthens Britain's hand in any future settlement where the voices that sustained Ukraine through its worst months will carry more weight. The government's own release is explicit that funds will repair heating and water, support livelihoods and protect electricity and gas infrastructure as winter begins. This sits inside a larger framework. In January, the UK and Ukraine signed a 100-year partnership, a deliberately long horizon that says Britain is not going anywhere. The summer also saw London and Kyiv expand defence cooperation and convene a coalition of willing states to underwrite Ukraine's long-term security and reconstruction. You do not announce a century-long pact and then treat support as seasonal. Today's visit is the operational aspect of that pledge. There's also a domestic political angle that is unavoidable. Ed Balls says Cooper found the reshuffle frustrating because she had momentum at the Home Office on migration. That irritation is understandable, but it gives her first foreign mission a useful edge. A minister who feels she needs to prove immediate value tends to move quickly and demand deliverables. If she converts frustration into focus, the Foreign Office may get sharper, not softer. What should success look like for this trip? 5 tests are fair. 1, a clear implementation map for the £142 million that milestones can be identified and audited in December and February. 2, a schedule for UK drone production that identifies quantities, unit costs, and deployment windows, maybe eventually looking at some sort of cottage industry of zone production in the UK, exactly as it is in Ukraine. 3, a joint statement with President Zelensky that spells out how Britain will help allies adapt to drone warfare, including training pipelines for Poland and the Baltics. 4. Visible progress on grid hardening projects in at least 3 oblasts before the first deep freeze. 5. A public reaffirmation that the 100-year partnership covers economic recovery and energy security, not just missiles and munitions. There are risks. Moscow will try to frame British drone co-production as escalation. Expect the usual theatre from the Kremlin press room. The correct response is calm repetition of a simple fact. Interceptors save lives and reduce collateral damage. They are defensive by design. There is also the risk of over-promising on timelines. Co-production is complex. Better to publish realistic delivery phases than inflate expectations that a cold January will puncture. Finally, winter relief can be dissipated by corruption and simple overload, tight monitoring, Ukrainian civil society partners, and off-the-shelf kit that can be installed fast are essential. The strategic logic is nevertheless sound. Russia's winter playbook is to freeze, frighten, and fracture. Britain's counter is to insulate, intercept, and integrate. Insulate homes and municipal networks, intercept the drones and missiles with systems that are affordable and at scale. Integrate our industrial base with Ukraine's so that production, maintenance, and training are jointly owned. That is how you flip the economics and the psychology of the winter war. Finally, the politics. Some will say this is a foreign grandstanding to distract from the messy reshuffle at home. The better reading is that serious countries do several hard things at once. The Foreign Secretary is right to make Kyiv her first stop. It aligns national interest with moral clarity. It reassures an ally when reassurance is scarce, and it tells Moscow that the United Kingdom intends to be present not only this winter, but for as many winters as it takes. And it also sidelines the gossip of Mandelson. If you want to follow the Mandelson theatre, we'll deal with that in another video. But it's the Yvette Cooper trip to Ukraine is an important statement of commitment, and that goes much further than raking up the dirt on Peter Mandelson.